Hi, everyone, and welcome on into what I always call a little sneak peek into the life of Tracy's total wellness and things that I'm excited about. And this beautiful woman sitting next to me is one of my fellow mentors and guides on this thing called building your own business, as well as an amazing women's coach. She's mine currently, and I'm excited for some new experiences that are up and coming this year in particular. Ashley, I would love for you, before we get started, for those that don't know, just introduce yourself to everyone in my community.
Well, hey, everybody, excited to be here with you today. And yeah, my name's Ashley Burnett. I'm a women's business and leadership coach. I've been on the entrepreneurial journey for 20 plus years now. And I support primarily women in the creative and holistic industries in building their confidence, increasing their income and impact and time freedom. And I just am so grateful to be here and talking with you today. So hello.
Hello. Yeah, and freedom. That's, I think, the word I want to talk with you about. And I know we're going to, in a moment, share a little bit about some free workshops that you have coming up. But I wanted to share a little bit about my story with you, and then maybe ask you like how you've served other people. You know, you've helped me, but you've also served so many people. Is I find it's so easy to have like shiny penny syndrome, wanting to do so many things or not feeling like we're connected to what we're up to, especially those that are business owners, feeling like I don't know where to start, or I don't know how to serve people. I want to serve people, that I don't want to feel drained. And for me in particular, having you along for the ride to help me scale, because I find when we're scaling or we're creating something new, there's all this other energy and this weight and this mass that comes with it. Maybe it's we have more time behind the computer, or maybe it means we need more carving out in our schedule, or there's just more time for creativity, that the time then starts to go like this, and then the balloon bursts when we finally get burnt out. And I think from working with you, it's helped me to see it doesn't actually have to be that way. We can scale, we can do new things, we can reinvent ourselves and our business, and it doesn't have to always be stressful and feel heavy. And I think it's this industry message that it's like a ancestral message I got from my family, where it's like you have to be stressed and you have to work hard for something to be important. And I had to really break through a lot of those belief systems for me to actually have the business that I have now, because I was unintentionally stressing myself out and working way too hard, because I thought that's the way to have the business I want. That's the way to get success. And success actually started happening when I started saying no. And the no, real for me at least, the no, whether it's the no to, shutting my computer at a certain time, the no to, if my intuition is saying I shouldn't work with that person, or I shouldn't say yes to that thing, or my no was setting boundaries with people in my life, whatever it was, it opened up the door to my authentic yes. And I think I was saying yes to so many energy drainers and so many things that I thought I should be saying yes to, that I lost my true self. I lost listening to my intuition. When I started saying no, it's like it almost called up my intuition, and my intuition was like, oh yeah, Tracy, hey, by the way, here's your real yes. Like, here's your authentic yes. And I did that by giving myself more spaciousness. And I know that's something that you really support a lot of women in. Is there anything based off of my story, or any client successes, or any, inspiration you want to share with anyone around that?
Well, for one thing, no always makes way for a yes, right? So when we like create those stronger boundaries, it can invite a yes in another area, right? And so it's like when we say no to something, what is that actually saying yes to? And it is saying yes to more time freedom. It is saying yes to maybe a deeper sense of ground or balance or rhythm, right? And so, and I think in our culture, it is so kind of patriarchally driven still. And for us to go by that status quo of work hard, work long hours. And if we don't do this, then we're not actually, being successful or doing good work in the world. Right. And I've found as a woman and a woman entrepreneur that couldn't be further away from the truth. Right. It's like, yes, like to what you were speaking of earlier, at the beginning stages of my business, I was working 75-hour weeks. I was staying up until 2 a.m. I was, not taking days off, right? And burning the candle at both ends. And there was a moment when I remember I like straight up burnt out, And for me, this is about creating sustainable business models, sustainability in our lives, and learning how to do business a smarter way, right? And so, for me, like the workshops that we have coming up, which, the first one is Unleash Your Time Freedom. It's really about reclaiming hours of your precious time, right? And so that you can, spend time with your loved ones, but also do the things that you really want to be doing in your business too, right? So it's like freeing up that space to actually do the things that, are in your zone of genius, what you really came to do in the world, right? And increase your earning potential while you buy back hours of your time. We all want that, right? But I think there's still the stigma of like, that's not okay, right? And for me, it's about, well, how can I serve in a deeper way? And I know it's kind of like this idea of putting your oxygen mask on first. And I don't think there's no formula to this. And there's no like, okay, everyone needs to work 25 hours. That's the formula, right? And I think this is what's interesting about the 40-hour work week, that we've all been told, oh, we need to work 40 hours, right? Well, actually, we need to tune into what it is that we can handle as individuals and then create our business models to reflect that. And that's what I think is so great about being an entrepreneur. We get to set our own hours, but we still have that buy-in of we need to do it in this way, right? And I'm here to tell you it's okay to do it a different way, in a more femme-forward way, right? And one that creates spaciousness and rest and self-care and creativity and joy and sabbaticals built into the model. And that's why I'm so excited to do this workshop on Tuesday of next week. So
I think it's I know it's a series, and I think it's amazing you're starting with time. They always say, a lot of people have said the two biggest excuses are I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. I mean, for a lot of people, time is bigger commodity for them, because with everything we've been going through, we don't know like how we're going to be, like what's coming next. We're still living in a little uncertainty, and there's been so much going on in so many people's lives that I think people are realizing I want to spend my time more authentically, and how to get out of these maybe cages that we've lived in. I think we all know we need containers and structure. And I want to shout you out, Ashley, for offering people an opportunity to be like, your container and structure gets to be how it works for you. And I think we've tried, just based on the way that our systems have been in society, to be like, oh, well, I have to go into this container. And then that container almost starts to feel like a prison. It did for me, where it's like, well, I had to do things a certain way. I felt like I lost Tracy. And what do they say if you go to like a branding expert? It's like, you have to find your authenticity. Yeah. So that means for me doing things the way that it works for me. And I think, I'm somebody that has had some health struggles. I have to manage my time differently so that my body operates well. I have clients, and you do probably, that are maybe younger mothers, people that have maybe a family member that's ill. Like, there's different things going on in our lives. I mean, for me, it's not an either or mentality. It's a yes and more mentality of, yes, we can have a business that thrives and get to be there for our loved ones. But I think what people will get in the workshop, I know what people will get in your workshop is that it's possible. But if we only listen in the old way that we've learned, we're never going to see the possibility, right? So come to the free workshop and start to just put in a new set of earbuds and listen to new possibilities. And I know, Ashley, you supported me in helping me to find like the right structures and the right containers that work for Tracy to thrive. And when we all are in our own connection to self, that's when our uniqueness comes out. That's when like creativity comes out. That's when more money starts flowing, because we're aligned with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that's really what my hope is. Like, we are going to dive into some nitty gritty details of, how to kind of create your ideal seasonal schedule. I'm really big on seasonality and ritual in our lives, leadership, business. And, Tracy, I know you're passionate about that too. So it's like, how do you create a sustainable seasonal schedule that is spacious and not jam-packed with those endless to-dos all the time? We're going to talk about boundary setting around your time on and your sacred time off, and making sure that you're the business isn't getting the attention of that sacred time, right? We'll also talk about, kind of clarifying non-negotiables around self-care, and again, creativity and joy, and literally carving space and time out for those things in your seasonal schedule, as well as seasonal sabbaticals. I've been able, and privileged in the last couple of years to be able to create 2 month plus long sabbaticals into my schedule. I know not everyone can do that. I certainly couldn't do it a couple of years ago, but you take some baby steps and start to see what is possible, for me, and continuing to run this business with sustainability, right? And also looking at how we can continue to scale this business. And this particular workshop is a series of 3, and the next one is about unleashing your signature groups. And so learning how to scale your business through transformational groups, which, Tracy, I've had the privilege to watch you do that and experience myself, completely, and buying back time freedom through leading group work. And then also how to unleash a 6+ figure business without a massive list. How do you keep creating community that wants to come back time and time again to work with you? And so this is a series of 3 workshops that then leads into our Unleash Your Impact course, which, Tracy, I know you're going to actually be participating in this year, which I'm super, super stoked about. But this is kind of that introductory workshop to see, what is it that we're talking about? What is this community all about? What, can we do this? Can we revolutionize fempreneurship and do this in any way? Here's the way that we're going to show you, and we'd love for you to come to this workshop. And I'm assuming they can sign up in the comments section or something like that.
I'm going to drop a link in the comments, and then we'll have a link up and handy available where I post the video for everybody. And I want to kind of bounce off as we close out, like with what Ashley's saying, that I think we've talked about, but that it would be really important for you to come back home to, is we shouldn't do this thing alone. Even though it's your business, whether you have employees or not, or you're solopreneur, it's not meant to do alone. You might be the one serving the groups, you might be the one serving your clients, but we need people around us. We need support. And hopefully this free workshop can give you, Ashley, as a great support and a guide and a mentor, to learn something new or think about something different in a really great community. I find when we can kind of co-regulate together, and then we feel inspired and empowered because we have the right support, we have the right people around us. Then when we go to self-regulate, like we go to do our self-work, it's just way more effective. It's way more powerful. So come join us in an awesome community, get some great support. Ashley does a really great job of creating that wonderful container and structure to let us all just be our unique selves. And the workshop's free. The experience is 3 parts. And then maybe some of you are called to join us a little bit into the program. And if you do, don't worry, I got some special presents for people that come through me, which I'll talk about a little later when we get there. But Ashley, I want to thank you for coming in today and taking your time to be with me, right? We all have this time, and I want to thank you for honoring it with me today. And any last words, I know you might want to share the date and the time of the workshop and any more details people could sign up for it.
Yeah, it's happening this coming Tuesday, September 13th at 11 o'clock Pacific time. And again, you can sign up at the link that Tracy provides. Amy, I don't know what's going on here. That Tracy provides in the comments, and we would just love to have you there. And I think the last thing I'll share is just around, again, the importance of community, like you're saying. And that's another benefit to doing group work, that you get to create these beautiful containers of that we need more than ever right now. I believe after, coming out of this like isolation bubble, we need these containers to be held in. And we also need containers that we can be on the opposite side of space holding with, right? Like I hold space, but I'm also being held and supported in other containers as well, in other communities as well. So find your community. We'd love to have you at this workshop. And thanks for having me today, Tracy.
Thanks, Ashley. Yes, we'd love to have you at the first one, and it's a series of workshops, so feel free to join in. I know it is recorded, but if you come live, you get to feed off the vibe. That's what I always say. Live gives you the vibe. There's the vibe in the recording, but if you can come live, I'd love to have you there. I'll be there, and I know a few other women I know will be there, and we look forward to being with you. And thank you, Ashley, again for sharing your wisdom today.
Thanks so much, Tracy, and thanks